He's crying.
Listen, brother. Listen.
We're taking you live right now to the airport.
We received a 911 call about a disturbance in this area, the rental car area. The call said there was a man with a gun. Orlando police officers who are assigned to the airport responded very quickly, did confront a black male subject who was holding what appeared to be a handgun. The subject made several comments, pointed the firearm at the officers, said, shoot me, actually pointed the gun at his head, imploring the officers to shoot him. Officers were able to get him to drop the weapon. From that point, he was in this area. He laid down on the ground with the gun very close by to him. Our negotiators did a phenomenal job of talking with the subject for about 2 hours and finally got him to peacefully surrender. The entire incident was contained to this area, the rental car area, and I'll kind of give you some information on his background. The subject that is in custody right now is Michael Wayne Pettigrew. He's a black male, born 10/29 of 1990. He is former military, and so at this point he's been committed under the Baker Act for a mental evaluation. There are pending charges on him of aggravated assault with a firearm. We did recover a weapon. It was a simulated firearm. The gun was not real. So at this time, before I take any questions, I'm going to hand it over to the chairman of the Greater Orlando Aviation Authority, Fred Kruppenbacher.
I think that the biggest point I can emphasize tonight is that this incident demonstrated just how fortunate this city is to have the Orlando Police Department. Their professionalism in implementing the plans that they've worked constantly in exercises with our staff worked impeccably. And Chief, on behalf of everybody at the airport, and all the passengers and our employees did everything in accordance with what OPD has trained them to do, and I think it led to you couldn't have a better resolution. No one was hurt. The airport continued to operate on the other side. Should point out right now the airport is open, traffic is flowing, airlines are flying, and everything is safe and good. And I just, again, give all the credit to the chief and his staff. The backstory on this is incredible. The officers responding, you couldn't have had a better group of people dealing with what was a truly very dangerous situation. So with that, we'll answer any questions you may have.
Chief, the moment he set down his gun and was laying there, how long was he laying there with his gun near him, and why weren't you moving in sooner at that point?
So officers challenged the subject. He did at some point drop the gun to his feet, but the gun was in such a close proximity to him that they wanted to try and peacefully negotiate with the suspect. And yeah, I think when the officers got there, they realized this was a person who was in mental distress and basically wanted to do the whole suicide by cop thing. So in cases like that, we're going to try and peacefully negotiate with them. All the passengers and people had been evacuated from the area. It was contained. There was no rush to try and arrest the suspect and cause a deadly force situation, because they knew he was in some type of mental crisis. We're going to talk to him, see if he can get him to peacefully surrender. Very, very proud of our negotiator. She did a phenomenal job and basically gained some rapport with him and was able to get him to peacefully surrender.
At what point did they know the gun was not real?
Not until he was taken into custody. So at that point, I think we're sending you the picture of the firearm right right now. Much like some of the other simulated replica firearms you see, it looks like a real gun.
Did he point it at anybody or make any threats?
So when the officers responded, he did point the gun at the officers. That's why there are pending charges on him. And he also pointed the gun at himself, was making several statements that he wanted the officers to shoot him. So we knew he was in some type of mental crisis.
What's his affiliation with the airport? We were told employees were very familiar with him. What is that relationship? Is he a former employee?
I have no information on him as far as being a former employee. We have not received that information.
Can you spell his name for us?
Last name is Pettigrew. It's Pettigrew. First name Michael, middle name of Wayne. Birthday is 10/29 of 1990.
In terms of evacuations from the airport, from this area, tell me about that.
Yeah, sure. So as soon as officers responded, we were able to contain the suspect. Hundreds of officers from all over Central Florida responded as well, and we're able to evacuate and contain this area so that people can get on with their business.
Frank, could you talk about airport operations and how they might have been disrupted during all this and their status now?
Sure. First, let me address that he was not a former employee of the airport. All right, so I don't.
Do you know what the connection was?
I don't think there was a connection. I just think these incidents take on stories as they go on. The airport, there are an incredible amount of plans to protect the public, law enforcement, and everybody. When a situation like this happens, we immediately, law enforcement took over. The first goal was to contain it and protect all the people. We got everybody that was a civilian out of this area so law enforcement could handle it. Law enforcement then advised us that we could operate the B side of the airport. They had contained it. There was no other shooter they were aware of. They knew there wasn't. We had a lot of law enforcement on the B side, so we were able to continue to operate the airport on the B side and flights out of there. There was, in places, planes being delayed, being let go to come here because people were unsure of what was the situation. So there were delays from that standpoint. And then, of course, the passengers that were on this side, they were interrupted in their flights and in their ability to move, get their rental cars, etc. But I'll just go back to guys, I get briefed confidentially a lot, and if ever I saw the benefit of what your department has briefed me on, it unfolded today, and I want to go on and just praise the negotiators, law enforcement, and the employees of the airport who really implemented to a T exactly what they've been trained to do by Chief and his team.
Chief, talk about the logistical issues of a facility like this.
Well, certainly it's a large facility. Our officers who work here are very familiar with the. We have been training all of our officers at the Orlando Police Department to respond to this type of incident at the airport. And our main function is to get an incident like this contained, and that's what they did a great job of here, containing the incident so that no one else in the airport operations weren't affected that much.
What was his military background?
I was told he was in the Marines from 2009 to 2012.
And can you talk about the logistics of keeping a situation like this calm with all the people, all the kids walking around?
Well, when I got here, the officers really had this contained, and there was, everything else had been evacuated. There were no people around, and basically that's what they do. They contain the situation, try and get this to come to a peaceful resolution, because obviously the person was in some type of mental crisis.
With everything that's happened abroad and even here in Orlando, it's been almost a year since Pulse. Have you all been able to take lessons that you learned from that night and apply them in situations like this, and how confident are you moving forward?
Yeah, we are constantly updating training and looking back on past experiences. I think the commanders here at the airport have done a very good job preparing not only the officers that are assigned here to the airport, but officers who respond to any type of crisis.
Were any officers injured? I'm trying to.
No officers were injured, and there weren't any injuries at all by anyone that we're aware of. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You are listening to a live news conference from Orlando International Airport, where a gunman who was holed up inside the parking garage is now in police custody.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Charlotte County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if some, if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave a, let's say, actually, yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But, do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt-free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, if I got, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. 47,000 of you so far right now. $1 a day. $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.